Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how the mind actually learns, and it's a really big deal. It's critical to understand how the mind learns so that you can understand the different phases as you're learning new spiritual practice or methods, and you can see your progress along the way, or you can recognize a pitfall that you may be falling into. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button somewhere around here. And also there's a little bell notification somewhere around here too. Go ahead and hit that and you'll stay updated on the new videos that are coming out. Okay, so the way the mind works, reason why it is so important to understand is because your mind, your ego, is literally going to try and disrupt everything that you do to prevent you from achieving your goal of being independent of it and allowing you to have that happy life that you're looking for, or to be able to explore deeper levels of spirituality. So understanding this is very, very, very critical. And here's how this works. If I tell you something, your mind is going to say, yeah, whatever. That's not real. If I've lived in this body like all my life, if this was true, I would have experienced this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the phases of your progression from the time that I tell you something or another teacher tells you something or you read something, you implement it, and then you get to the end where you're supposed to be. And to understand that, you have to understand the difference between belief and true knowing. Okay, true knowing is anything that you have directly experienced. So if you have ever burned your hand on a stove, you know what that feels like. But try and describe color to somebody who is born blind, and no matter how good of a concept you tell them, and no matter how imaginative their brains are, they can't actually know what color looks like. Okay? So true knowing is the pinnacle of where you're trying to get to. This is the difference between somebody who believes that they're enlightened and somebody who's actually there. Okay? So here's how this works. I tell you, if you do this, this will happen. Your brain says, yeah, whatever, I don't believe this. Okay, but you decide to do the exercise or the practice anyways. The thing I told you is going to happen actually happens. All right. Now, your brain is going to look at it and say, well, it's a coincidence, So that's called coincidence. But what happens is you continue the practice and you have another coincidence and then another coincidence and another coincidence. And one day you wake up and your mind is switched from believing it's a coincidence to actually believing. It starts to believe that what you're doing is having an effect. It's seeing the progress, and now it is starting to work. All right. So as you begin to believe something, you actually gain a little bit of power. This power, this belief, this little bit of faith is going to give you more energy. It's going to give you more motivation to continue what you're doing. So you continue to practice, but now you do it with more intent, more motivation, more energy, and your results start to really pick up steam. And then one day you wake up and you actually know it's true. Okay? You have an experience of knowing. This is very important, especially when you're dealing with subtle work, anything in subtle energy, because subtle energy works on a very low level compared to in-your-face, gross experiences. Subtle energy is like being blind and God is in the room and you're trying to talk to God, and He's responding by blowing air across your skin in very light ways. Okay, so it's a strange concept, but when you're doing subtle work, you're really trying to get to these fine little nuances, these fine little sensations, and the understanding of this, experience, coincidence, belief, and knowing is absolutely important. So there's some really old writings, and some of it comes from Yeshua, the man you may know as Jesus, and some of it comes from other places, but there's a saying, like, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can look at the mountain and say, "Mountain, move," and the mountain will move. Just a little bit of belief, a little bit of faith in the energy system that we live in has an effect on it. It allows you to interact with this energy system, and it has a lot of power, right? So when you act on belief and a little bit of faith, you'll see things happen, right? And as you progress through life and more things happen, and depending on how dedicated you are and how much you're willing to let go of the old you're going to see things happen. And one day you're going to wake up and you're going to know. There comes a knowing that happens. And then life changes again. There's many different phases through spiritual practice and learning. And you're going to see changes through every one of those phases. And it's an amazing process to behold. Well, that's it for this lesson, this sermon on Sunday, if you want to call it that. Bingo's on Wednesday. Come join us. Just kidding, obviously. If you haven't joined the Chopwood Carry Water Facebook group, you're more than welcome to come check that out. I just finished a second interview with a gentleman by the name of David Maddow. He has his own YouTube channel. I'm going to list the link down to it in the description below. Now, he focuses on psychedelics and therapy. It's a little bit different. I've had a lot of experience with that. That's how I was able to get over a lot of my my traumas and whatnot before I found the spiritual practices. But yeah, check out his videos. He's a really good guy also. And once again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I don't do this for money. If you're viewing this, you're actually helping grow the channel, grow the Facebook group, and it's going to allow for better equipment, more opportunities to do other things, talk about different things, interviews with other people. So just something as simple as hitting like or subscribe or the bell notification icon really has an impact on the way that the YouTube algorithms work in the search process. So if that's all you could do for us, that's absolutely fine.